Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mike here once again, and I am going to kick this off by saying I'm about to talk about Game of Thrones. I am. Episodes 1, 2 and 3 of Season 8. I didn't plan on this little Game of Thrones rant, but here it comes. So first of all, I'm going to ask you guys to pop on over to my channel and hit subscribe. You will get new videos from me every Tuesday and Friday. Videos about TV, about films, about books, about baking, about podcasts, about life. And hit notifications so you know when those videos go live. And hit like on this video if you like this video. And I am going to stop introducing now. And I think we should talk Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is back. We've seen 3 episodes. I have seen 3 episodes, and episode 4 was on last night in America, so it's on this evening in the UK. And I mean, I really enjoyed episode 1. I was very surprised that people were talking about it negatively in the fact that it was slow, but I was relishing. I mean, it's been a really long time since it was on screen. That's first of all. So let's remind ourselves of who everybody is and give these characters all a chance to meet different characters. And I loved how tense it was between certain people, and just frosty, which is what it is. I loved having them all in Winterfell. In that first episode, I think Cersei was just there, and then she's not there for a little while, and we're not going to see her again until this episode, episode 4, and a lot will have happened. And I think that Cersei is one of my favourite characters, and I understand why they left her out. It makes complete sense. But I strangely haven't missed her. There's been so many other characters with so many other arcs going on that it was fine. So episode 1, people said it was slow. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved having them all meet again and kind of talk about what was going to be happening next. Thought it was fab. I really, really enjoyed it. I loved all the mirrors as well from the first season, you know, reminders of where we've come from. I loved all that too. I just loved it. I really enjoyed it. I was surprised they spoke about Jon's heritage so early on, because I think a lot of times storytelling in these type of things that we watch, they withhold the big stories and big reveals and things till later on. So to go straight in and be talking about it, I was like, oh, okay, we're right in there, right? And then I was just yeah, okay. I was surprised. Then episode 2 happened, and I think episode 2 is actually one of my standout episodes ever. I loved it. All those people waiting for the Battle of Winterfell. I just thought all the moments they gave those characters, the beautiful, I mean, I had tears in my eyes when Sir Brienne of Tarth was knighted, and her face was full of glee, and I was full of glee and tears, and I just thought that was amazing. One of my favourite ever moments. And I loved that group of people by the fire talking about whether they were going to survive or not, and talking about life. And Podrick had that song, which was beautiful as well. And I just absolutely relished that episode. I loved it. I just think the calm before the storm is often just a fantastic moment. And I think that they milked it for that whole episode in a good way. And I found it just brilliant. I know lots of people, again, were talking about, come on, get to the action, get to the action. And the thing about... well, first of all, you have all these characters in one place that you want them to have something to say, and you want to have them, if this is going to be their goodbye, they have to say goodbye. That has to happen. So from a writing perspective, it was completely right that all these people had their moments to talk and reflect and kind of worry about what's going to happen next. Those were all fantastic, essential moments. And then episode 3 happened, so the Battle of Winterfell, you guys know what I'm talking about. I've got something holding me back from saying that I really, really enjoyed it. I don't think I really, really enjoyed it. Now, first of all, I have to say my experience of watching it was, as most people, it was very, very dark. It was difficult to actually see what was happening on screen. I didn't read any articles before the episode because I completely avoid them, and I avoid everything online in case anything is spoilt, because that's what the society that we're living in now was wrong, but it is what it is. And I didn't read anything about having to adjust my TV set to the right settings to be able to see stuff on the screen. We shouldn't have to do that. I'm sorry, we shouldn't. I'm watching it on a 50-inch telly that's got all the optimum settings for watching TV on, because I'm one of those guys. We never have to change our TV settings. They're the right settings. And then you're reading articles then about the cinematographer bipping about the fact that we are all watching it in the wrong setting. It's like, nah, pal, that's not what happened. It was very dark. It was pixelated. I mean, the smoke and the fog, there was squares on my screen. It couldn't keep up with all the dark on dark on dark. That bit, I'm sorry, it wasn't okay and it wasn't good. And it's such a shame, because that, at first, we turned all the lights off. We were like, maybe we need to have all the lights off and just be in complete darkness. And even then we were like, what is going on? I thought maybe we should put some lights on, maybe make it better. As the episode went on, you know, the fire started and everything like that. And that got better then. And I think with the ability to be able to see it then was took over, and that's fine. But unfortunately, I think the part at the beginning where I was struggling kind of continued into this second half. I loved a lot of it though as well. I loved Melisandre. I loved everything about her appearance and her part to play and her foreshadowing and everything. I just loved the whole Melisandre arc. I loved Lady Mormont. I mean, what a babe, and a badass babe at that. She was phenomenal, and what a great exit. I loved Jorah Mormont and his sacrifice for the woman that he loved and for the kingdom and for everything. I thought that was fantastic. I really enjoyed, I don't remember his name, but the flaming sword guy. I mean, I say enjoy. I genuinely didn't like, in terms of that I do like, sorry, I can't explain. When he's holding himself in that door and they're stabbing him and he was like, that was my reenactment, which is why I'm not an actor. That was horrific in the best possible way. It was horrendous. I didn't like that in terms of, oh my god, I really felt for the guy. And he was brought back by the Lord of Light all those times because he had to be there in that moment to keep Arya Stark safe, for her to do what she did. Now, in the moment when she came flying through the air, I kind of just thought, what? And then when she was grabbed by the neck, I thought, and then when she did it, I thought, oh my god, she did it. But in that kind of sort of suppressed tone, not like, oh my god, I was like, oh my god, she did it. And I think that those emotions for me, oh my god, this has turned into a right Game of Thrones rant. Those emotions for me came from a place of, how can I describe it? Okay, Bran is at this tree, okay? And he is luring the Night King there, presumably, so that Arya can kill him and stop the war. We have to assume at this point, and having not seen episode 4, that he was there putting all that in place for that to happen. I think that's what we have to assume, or that's what I'm assuming anyway. My problem with Bran, I always want to know more of what he's doing and what way he's coming from and what he's seeing. I find him a very, very fascinating kind of device and character in terms of the Three-Eyed Raven. But I don't care for him. I just, you know, if he died, I wouldn't care. Isn't that awful? But I wouldn't. It's my opinion, guys. Sorry. So the whole thing of the slow motion, them walking towards him, that really long drawn out, oh my god, is he going to kill Bran? I was like, if you're going to kill him, get on with it. I wasn't bothered. I'm sorry, I just wasn't. I'm laughing now because I wasn't. But then when she came out, since the episode happened, and I've watched sort of people's reactions on YouTube and read articles about it and stuff, obviously the complaints about the darkness of what have kind of overtaken everything about the episode, unfortunately. And say what you want about the cinematographer, and not just you, but all the creators and producers that ticked those boxes and said, yes, this is what we want, and this is how it's supposed to be, and this is going to be brilliant. It wasn't brilliant, it was a mistake. And if you can do anything to correct it for the Blu-ray edition, I think that you should. because it was just too dark. We couldn't see what was happening. Blurry fog, dragons all flying over each other. No idea who was who. I think you tried to do too much. Anyway, I digress. I just, that's what's kind of overtaken it all. And Arya stopping the war, it is what happened. But back in the day, there's a similar thing. Her dagger was kind of from the sword that did it before or something. And so that was great. And all her training, you know, I've had to kind of remind myself, I think, of Arya's story up until this point, because she has been a brilliant character throughout the whole thing. And everything she's gone through and done, I've been on her side and I've loved her. I've loved watching her develop and learn new skills and move forward. And I think it genuinely has been, she's been one of my favourite characters. And all that training was for that moment. And that is fantastic. And what a brilliant thing to happen. I think that it's still, I didn't expect it, I suppose. I didn't, and that's brilliant too. I think that it was the Bran thing, it was the darkness thing. I didn't love all that. I think that Theon, I have to mention Theon right now, because I do like Theon and I've enjoyed his story, but I feel like he deserved that end and that was the right end for him, you know? So I think that I just felt like, well done Theon, top lad, fair play. That's all I have to say about Theon. And now we have the battle for the throne. And I can't help but feel, and I know this is the Game of Thrones, and that's why it has to happen in this order. You had to have the war, the Winter War, for the Dawn, and then you have to have the Battle for the Throne. This is what this show has been about from the beginning. I'm slightly disappointed the White Walkers didn't make it to King's Landing, and that, I don't know, I am slightly disappointed that Winterfell didn't fall. Obviously, I didn't want all those characters that I love to die. I didn't want that either. I'm not entirely sure what I wanted, but there was an element of the disappointment about it I can't explain. Maybe it's just all marred from that darkness. I will say, I haven't rewatched it, and I plan to rewatch it, not before tonight, but I will rewatch the series as a whole. And I do actually think that if we had Episode 2 and Episode 3 as one sort of giant event, one film, one night, sit down, all those emotional, you know, goodbyes essentially, or potential goodbyes, and those moments for all those characters that you've loved to connect with each other and for us to connect with them, and then gone into the battle and it started, that would have been phenomenal. I think it's been designed to be watched like that, but I don't think watching it once last week and then watching the big fight did it any justice for me. I didn't feel that connection. I didn't feel that connection, which I suppose makes me a bit disappointed, and I am a bit disappointed. That is how I felt about the first 3 episodes of Game of Thrones, guys. I'm going to watch episode 4 tonight, and I am looking forward to it. We're back to Cersei and back to that, and I want to see the aftermath, and I can't wait for all that and all those emotions. It can only be better than last week in terms of visuals, because that, it can only be better. Well, it has to be, please let it be. And what did you think? Genuinely, what did you think? I want you to talk to me about this, because I know we all have an opinion about Game of Thrones, and you've heard mine. I want to hear yours. Thank you very much for watching this Game of Thrones rant video, and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye-bye.